Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Show Films. I am Sen, your executive producer. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I particularly want to thank our $20 tier supporters over on our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms. Those being Samantha Bates, Elle, and Jeffrey Alexander, without whom we won't be able to do nearly as many of the things we do now. So thank you very much for your support over the years. And those of you that are watching live, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Exandria Rising. I am Sen, your game master for the evening, and I am joined this week by our resident combat amphibian, Craig.
Hi, I never go first. I am playing Grouper, hopefully for the entire episode. We'll see. Who is currently a frog.
And our resident combat landphibian, Shawnee. The word sort of stumbled in my mouth, but I got to it.
I'm
We
not
noticed.
I'm not even one of the land walking humanoids associated with water. In fact, quite the opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that would just be an amphibian.
I didn't say amphibian, I said landphibian.
You don't do both. You just land.
Okay. Hi, I am William Warshani, and I am playing Najka, the orc craftsman raised with dwarven culture.
And our resident combat techphibian, Jack.
Hi, I'm playing Martin Victoria the Bard today, but by the end of session, I'll probably be playing the three goblins inside, Meanie Manny, Gesby, and Peas.
And our resident traumaphibian, Holly.
That's fair. I'm Holly. I'm playing Davina, Silky Folk. What am I? Mischief.
And our nearly dead, oh god,
Vivian.
That's the problem. There's more than one amphibian here, motherfucker.
A dead Vivian.
wait, here we go. And our resident corpse-phibian, Jeremy.
That's actually really fair. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Elafera Gilrit, who is a water genasi rogue who is about to stab a frog.
Also, that portmanteau doesn't work grammatically at all because the PHI part of amphibian is actually part of amphi, which is the Greek origin of that half of amphibian.
Yeah, but it sounds better.
But anyways,
Portmanteaus don't have to make etymological
Or they're
sense.
portmanteaus.
I know. They don't have to. I'm just getting to that part now before anybody decides that their first comment on a Final Show film video is going to be telling me that that's not how the word amphibian breaks down.
That's not going to stop anyone.
No
Yeah.
rules, just right word smash steakhouse.
Anyways, as always, trans rights are human rights. Black Lives Matter. This stream is powered by Sirenscape, and it's a rough time in the world right now. And if you are of an age where voting is possible for you this year, it would behoove you to exercise your right to vote so that if the world gets better, you can take credit. And if it gets worse, then you can take blame.
I don't know. You take more blame if you don't even vote.
I was about to say, you take more blame if you don't vote and the world gets worse.
Because
Because if you're first of all, if the words "if you don't vote and you're smart," I feel like are an oxymoron. But if you're smart and you don't vote, you just never mention that fact.
well, if also if you don't vote, you take blame regardless. So because
Also
not
that.
because not answering is an answer. Anyways, I think that's everything. Change powered by Sirenscape. Anything else? No. Yeah. So when last we left off, our adventuring party was heading towards heading up island attempting to get to the town of Kratom on the far end of the island of Tuatacala, and in the last little bit of their travel, they were ambushed by some gnolls in the mountains, or gnolls from the mountains rather. And so that's where we rejoin our party, as they are currently fighting for at least Elifira's life against a bunch of gnolls that aren't hitting very often, but are hitting decently hard when they do. And yes, Grouper is currently a large frog.
Rather, as opposed to the small frog that we thought
Yes.
they were last time.
Or a
had
medium
it-
frog, I
we-
guess,
we-
technically.
We had a user error on my part, which was that I didn't realize that larger amphibians were an option.
Yep.
At the time. For anyone watching and wondering, I don't know if we explained this. Grouper can the reason that Grouper can turn into things with a swim speed is that, well, there I am. I'm adorable. Is that we Sen decided that I could only turn into things with a swim speed that were the same or higher than their walk speed. So I can't turn into non-swimming things until I hit level 4.
Yep. If it doesn't have a swim speed, you can't turn into it.
Yep.
I'm just going to put the giant toad wholesale into your control for now. And then I will take that away later. And
When we
make
fight a giant toad.
make an actual version
As
of
a
you.
reverse restriction for an amphibious druid.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
There's you. Putting that on GM layer. There we go.
I don't know what the fake Spanish word for toad would be as compared to the El Spidro Gigante thing.
El Frogo Gigante.
Oh man, that's a big frog.
It's giant.
Yeah, it's really big.
Rib bit.
A hyena.
Jesus Christ.
And Elifira is, hang on. Elifira is there. To the front. There. Okay.
Giant frog is large creature. Does not have large pool of hit points, but is large creature.
Hey, it has more hit points than I do.
Hey, Roll20, are you going to update the view that my audience view is going to have? Hang on. Let's refresh that for the audience, because for some reason Roll20 wasn't updating on my view.
Giant toad.
There we go. There we go. All right. It is currently whose turn? A Null's turn, right? 'Cause we
Bunch of
had
Knowles turns.
I think it's a fuck ton of gnolls.
the giant toad went, and now it's the Knolls.
Currently the turn of the pile of gnolls.
Yes, this pile.
The last 2 of them, I think, are still restrained.
Where
I think
is
4 of them are still restrained at the moment.
No, I mean,
Oh, in the
this,
initiative
this
block,
initiative
yes.
pack.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is way up here. Got it. Do-do-do-do-do.
Regular gnoll. Regular gnoll.
They are indeed just regular Knolls. All right. There. Now my shenanigans can be continued. This Knoll way up here, yoink, is going to attempt to shoot at. Who can he see? Najka. Yeah.
Cometh at me, Broheim.
A natural 1, however, means that he misses and also wrecks his bow.
Badly.
All right.
I was like, didn't he
next.
snap his bow last time?
No, different one.
Yeah.
Snap their bow.
All right, it was this guy on the pillar over here, right?
Yeah. This one next to Fyron is going to try to spear. Ooh, does he successfully spear Fyron? He does successfully spear Fyron. Fyron takes 4 points of piercing damage. Let me shut that over here.
No.
as you can see from his health bar, this has not affected Firen all that much.
I was about to say, I think he has more hit points than I do.
Firen and the giant frog has more hit points than Firen by 1.
Hooray!
Yeah, definitely.
That Null is restrained. Disadvantage shooting at Drevian. 6 will miss. Drevian's not here. Drevian wasn't able to make it this week, obviously, but that does not mean that Tenebris is not on the battlefield currently. Will I feel bad if Tenebris dies while Drevian's not here? Only slightly. Fortunately, none of them can hit Tenebris right now because they're all restrained still. All right, Firen's turn. Firen is going to try to. Firen's going to shift over to here and attempt to finish the knoll that stabbed him. But we'll miss. That's his turn. Worm, everyone's favorite magic dog, will attempt once more to primally savage this knoll. And will hit for 6 points of acid damage. Yeah, Worm. The knoll follows Firen with the spear and sort of like is defending itself against the massive hammer, which is why, as that sort of green ethereal energy that surrounds Worm as he attacks lunges from behind with energy with ethereal acidic claws and teeth manifesting around him. It wasn't ready for it, and so Worm just takes the knoll down and begins ripping it apart. That's now 2
Good dog.
dead gnolls. What was that, Craig?
As I just said, I love that it looks like a corgi.
It's a what kind of dog is it? Is Worm, Jack?
A village dog.
Which
dog-
Village dog, also known as some kind of dog breed.
the village dog. The dog.
The dog kind of dog.
It's the platonic ideal of dog.
I just mean the mini, the icon.
Yep.
Very good
Alright.
boy.
Knoll. That knoll is going to attempt to shoot the giant frog that popped up.
Good. The giant frog shall distract them from smashing on Elefira.
Oh no, that's the one that broke his bow. He's gonna
Yeah, legit.
he's gonna throw.
Do
a
not
spear.
want to smash with gnolls.
He's gonna throw a spear at the frog. A natural 20.
Oh no!
So yeah, Grouper, you get up and present a defensive obstacle over top Elefira. Does Elefira have 6 hit points now, or yeah? Because you healed, right? And as you sort of look down and cast cast a healing spell on Elefira and assume your defensive stance, you look up and instinctively croak, and as you croak, a spear just goes right in the mouth.
Ah.
And you take 10 points of piercing damage.
Well, the spear is gone now.
It's sort of hanging out. It got stuck like it's stuck in like your upper palate.
Yeah, I think Martin Victoria healed Elefira.
Yeah.
Just up here to.
That's right.
Yeah, but we already put that in there.
Yeah.
She was all the way down before I did that.
So yeah.
No. I was just clarifying the narrative,
Yeah, so 10 points of damage.
So I need to
the
make-
giant frog.
and I need to make a con save.
Yes.
Holding a spell?
Yeah. Entangle.
Oh, right, the entangle.
The thing that's
That's
keeping Tenebris alive currently.
Did that didn't show up, did it?
Nope. Not yet.
Oh, I see.
And you have to do it.
Okay.
You do have to do it with the giant frog's con, or the giant toad's con.
Oh my god, you're right.
Not yours.
Oops.
And Toad.
All right,
It's
it's just
19.
a plus. Oh, it did go. Okay.
Yeah, it finally went 19.
I don't know why it's
Is it?
whispering everything from my animal forms.
Because it is because that giant toad right
Ah.
there is. No, it should be in public. I don't know.
Because they are by default NPCs.
Not
and
that one.
NPCs,
Oh, okay.
NPCs default to whisper to GM.
Okay.
I mean, that one doesn't. It shouldn't because I've got it set to public.
I mean,
I'll-
you do,
I'll-
but if he's got his controls on it,
No, I've got never whisper, but
Either way,
I don't know. Regardless, it was a 19 on con, so I keep up the thing and I take
and Tongo.
10 points of damage.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yep.
Great.
All right, Elefira, you wake up
giant fucking frog
with a
on
giant frog standing over you. Not explicitly on you, but standing over you.
me.
It got stabbed.
Yeah, with a spear in its mouth.
I hate to even ask this, but
Do
So
you?
excited.
Do you
would
though?
this count as a sneak attack? Because it's probably not infected. And technically there are people around the frog that are trying to harm it. That
I mean,
they're not my allies,
the
but I don't know that.
Okay. Do you want to forego an insight check?
We already did that, I
Did we?
think.
I
The
don't-
nature
I don't-
check was the insight check.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was already decided
right,
that
that's right.
I have
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah.
idea.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll have advantage on the attack because you are under the frog, and it's not
I'm
defending
so
against
sorry.
you. Which means yes, it would be sneak attack.
Alrighty. It's a 24.
That'll hit.
Okay, I did not crit you
Even the 12 would have hit. The giant frog's AC is 11.
for 12 piercing damage.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
it's the armature,
But if
so
it's
it's gonna
armature,
be
it's elemental.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know.
I'm sorry. 12.
cold, I think you'd say.
It was cold, I believe. I believe it was
Yeah, I
cold.
believe you're currently on cold mode.
Oh, I don't think I have any resistance to cold.
There's not even like a moment's like or anything like that. She just sees something
Oh.
above her and like just
Must depend.
dead.
All right. Well, you don't-
That's it for the entangle.
yeah, you don't kill the
blank
frog.
face.
You don't kill the frog, but as it reels back from the attack, the vines that are entangling 4 of the gnolls up north, dissipate.
I think that prompts another insight check.
And I am going to.
I will
I
also
don't think
argue.
I see it.
I don't think this frog. Yeah, but I think the way the frog looks at you, I don't think a frog face is that different than Grouper. I feel like there can be a similarity to the expression on these wide set broad.
All right, fair.
Give me a perception check
Perception check.
for Elefira, yeah.
Oh no.
Because that's a swamp, not a cloud. So
Okay,
you
it's a
are-
14.
With the 14, yeah. No, that to be clear, that the cloud up there on the map is the swamp, not a cloud, so it's not
Yeah.
obscuring
Right.
your vision at all. So yeah, you stab the frog, it reels back and gives you a look, and you can see out of the corner of your eye that the vines that are entangling a bunch of gnolls goes away as soon as right after you stab the frog.
Fair enough. I was thinking, to be fair, I was thinking not because of the swamp, because I was on my back on. But yeah, no,
You're-
that's
yeah, you're on your
absolutely
back,
fair.
but you're on a high ridge. You're on a ridge that's actually on level
Yeah.
with those gnolls.
But yeah,
so.
it's about the same elevation with the other area.
And then I will. I mean, I know I can't actually shove as a bonus action, so narratively, just sort of reach back with back legs and like try to push you off. There's no like expression of like, oh shit, what did I just do?
Ooh.
Just like a push you off because I'm trying to get back up to my feet, because that aside, there's still a gnoll over here that wants to kill us.
Mhm.
And yeah, I will get up to at least a crouch, I suppose.
Yeah, you can get up.
Speaking of Knowles,
And that's my turn.
You can offhand attack if you want. 'Cause you still have your action to get up.
I
Or,
think.
sorry, our
hold
movement to
on,
get
let
up,
me
action to
check.
attack, offhand.
Actually, I'm going to disengage. Cunning action.
Okay.
I think that's one of my cunning actions.
Yes, cunning action is disengage.
Yeah, I'm disengaging, and I am moving over here.
And because it's a funny question to answer out loud, no, Craig, you cannot do subdual damage with stomach acid. You cannot pull your punch while digesting something.
I wanted to try to bore Elefira to the rescue, but I guess not.
that's a statement that was made.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Jesus
Fun game.
Christ!
Well, I did. It looks like I killed Jeremy anyway. So
I mean, that would lead to some very interesting questions of if I kill a shape-changed frog from the inside, when it changes back to normal form, do I explode it as it bursts out of Grouper?
Anyways,
or the real question is, does this awaken anything in you?
so you've
Gift
disengaged
from
and
community.
you-
I hope
that's
it
my
doesn't
turn.
And
awaken
moved.
anything in me.
so you moved around. Do you want to move further away?
No, because now we are flanking.
Okay.
I realize that I might very well now die, but like if I move back, that just gets me closer to this one. I realize he's
Yeah.
on top and shooting, but still.
Does an 18 hit you, Elefira?
I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah, following you
Oh, no.
around, the spear, the knoll that already put you down once, turns the spear around and hit thrusts it at you.
All right, that's fair.
3 points of piercing damage, though.
I'm still up.
It's not nice.
Didn't roll very well that time. Nashka.
All right, I need to rescue these idiots from themselves.
We are doing just fine. Thank you very much. Kill your knoll next to you.
Najka sort of like hooks the shotgun axe onto a latch on her armor where it just catches, and she brings up the forge maul and smashes into this one directly.
You're flanking, so you got advantage.
Yep. $23
That'll hit.
or 6 bludgeoning.
It's still up.
Then we will use a charge to take a swing as a bonus action. 23
That'll hit. You kill it. It had 1 hit point left.
or 8 bludgeoning. Damn it.
It had 7 hit points left, and you did 6 to it. It was the first
Of
hit.
course. And then I will start climbing. Try and get up here.
Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
13.
13's enough. Yep, you can get up there. That knoll there is still 1 ridge higher, so there's another 5 feet. Another 5
Yeah,
feet
but
up.
I
Yeah.
am in his way right now, so that's fine.
All right. Anything else in your turn?
That's it.
Tenebrous' turn. Tenebrous finds himself looking down a bunch of knolls that are suddenly freed. Tenebrous is going to use their bonus action to mutter incoherently to themselves.
Also, we're doing just fine, says the person who has done more damage to her party member than to the enemies.
Given how Tenebrous has been behaving previously, I'm going to do action to disengage and clamber down away.
These tracks.
Johnny, I fail to see how that negates what I said. We're doing just fine. Everything as expected.
Tenebrous hops down and just runs over towards Martin Victoria and the good goblins. And that's their turn. Noel. Back up here. Oop. Wait. Oh. There it is, that one. That's the combination. That Noel, suddenly freed from the burden of entangling vines, but still in sort of a murky swamp area, is going to shoot with a bow at there are several of you that have that might make good targets. Let me make a roll real quick. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, Martin Victoria.
It's probably tactically more advantageous to get the ones up there that nobody's next to in melee.
Sorry, it's shooting at you.
You're getting shot.
Oh. I knew that.
But with a nat 1, it snaps its bow. It's another one that's Sans bow.
Lovely.
Davina.
These bows were not well made for them.
Yeah, I would like to mind thrust this one that's next to Ella and Grouper.
All right. I need to make an intelligence save. What's the DC? Ooh, never mind. Nat 20.
Wow. Fine,
Only-
be like that.
You have
Mind
found
thrust is still.
you have found the one Knoll that has an iron mind.
I believe mind thrust is still a thing that does half damage as opposed to mind
I'm
sliver.
pretty certain mind thrust. Mind
Is
thrust.
it a cantrip?
Mind
Is
thrust
it a
is save or
cantrip
suck.
one?
No, it is a ability from a mystic. It's a mystic ability.
Oh,
They
okay.
must succeed on an intelligence saving throw. Yeah.
It's save or suck. It's one of their.
Yep.
It's a first level mystic ability. It's save or suck.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Save or suck is a really interesting way of saying all or nothing. I'm just.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
think
saying
it's
it's not on
originally
brand for you, but
that's
I mean,
that's
it's-
not
it's
a me.
classic-
That's a
that-
that's
yeah,
a D&D.
No, I
that's
think
a
it was
D&D term.
originally for like the level 8 spells that are either you save or you are dead now.
no,
That's
I get it.
Save or suck.
Oh, I absolutely get the meaning of the term. I'm just saying there was already a term for that that isn't that many. Is only one more syllable.
But I'm saying I didn't invent the term.
Saber suck is like classic D&D.
Yeah.
Along with saber die.
Yeah, no, this is a that is a mystic talent. Yeah, it's a psionic. It's a mystic psionic talent, mind thrust, which is as an action, target one creature you can see within 120 feet of you. It must succeed an intelligence saving throw or take damage. It's effectively a mystic version of a cantrip. All right. Anything else in your turn, Holly?
That's it for now.
All right. Well, now we're on a null. All right. This one is going to also shoot at Martin Victoria because they are good at following the lead of others.
Martin Victoria's fine. Keep shooting at them.
And a miss with a 7. All right. Giant Toad.
They're very good at following the lead of others.
Hello.
Get your turn.
I would like to try to eat this knoll, please.
All right. Make an attack.
All right.
I was a little bit hopeful that that Davina would kill it and it would just flop over dead because it had an aneurysm between us, so we could argue over who killed it mid-fight.
Well, it only had 3 hit points left, so it can't succeed the escape save. So you eat a null.
Yes. All right.
You gain no nourishment.
I'm going to.
I mean, you nourish the toad, not yourself.
Hmm.
No, gain no nourishment. You'll find out why in a minute.
So there's a.
Oh no.
Oh, I know why.
Oh yeah.
So the toad is Elefira looking at the toad?
I mean, now that there's no longer a null between them, I think so.
So the toad is just there, and it just goes, picks up one of its little hands and just goes.
Little hand. It's bigger than Elevira.
I know, but proportional. And
Proportionally.
it just sort of like doing that sort of wiping gesture that toads will, but it is sort of pointing to, I guess, your left, its right, away from the cliffside.
You know, she would have gotten out of danger if you hadn't told her to.
Anything else for the toad?
Does Elefira? I think I know the answer to this, but Elefira looks as though she is not going to move. Correct?
Elefira looks very annoyed at the moment.
All right. So can I spit out the spear as a free action?
Sure. It's an
I'm
action.
sorry, what?
Yeah, you can spit the spear out.
All right. The
Not
spear
like
that's
attack
stuck in my
someone with
mouth.
it, just like spit it onto the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll spit it at Elefira's feet, and then I'd like to, if I may, jump over Elefira.
Oh, spear.
Here.
Yeah, you can jump over.
For some
Elevira.
reason, I heard sphere and I was like, what
Yeah.
weird, fucked up, like, Pokeball do you have that you
Yeah.
managed to get from Sen that I'm going to have to deal with now?
You all thought I was just a bog standard Circle of the Moon druid. Well, surprise!
Circle of the
I'm a
Ball druid.
Pokemaster.
Circle of the Balls, Druid. Yeah, no.
I want to be the very. No, sorry. It's I want to be the
The
very
berry
best,
does.
like no one ever was. Come on, guys.
So yeah, groupers. So the giant frog, the giant toad, spits a spear out at your feet, Elvira, and then leaps over, landing next to the other knoll.
I mean, that other note is slightly elevated, correct?
Yes, which means that now they're
Good,
on
you
eye
just gave
level
me
with the
something
giant
that I
frog.
can jump on so I can stab it.
Anything else in your turn, Craig?
You know what? I would actually like to use my bonus action to heal myself, please.
Can you cast spells in animal form yet?
That's wild healing. You can spend a wild
yeah,
shape to heal
oh,
yourself.
As a Circle of the Moon, I can heal myself.
Do so. then.
Bonus action.
Physician-like.
Yeah, exactly. Toadzician, heal thyself.
Shapeshifter. Restore
I love
thyself.
that we're just always on the same wavelength in terms of references.
6 points.
All right. Yeah, yourself for 6. And now Martin Victoria. Now it's your turn.
All right. Bonus action. Bardic to the toad.
What does that
That
sound
way
like?
you'll have it if we need to heal anybody else. What does a robot's bardic inspiration look like?
It could be anything
Guitar.
from you saying something, you playing a sound, or the head like siphoning open, and then one of the good goblins just sticking their head out and going, and like thumbs up.
No. While in the robot, it's the electricity launcher, and it just makes it shoots up into like a little image instead of an attack. To inspire whoever it is that's receiving the bardic.
Like little
I don't know what
fireworks
it
out of
is
the
for a
hands.
toad.
Just
I can't think that hard.
You shoot some fireworks towards Grouper. All right, so that's your bonus action.
And then
There's an
I'm going
appreciative
to,
ribbit.
and you can use that as additional hit points when you're healing. just as a reminder.
Cool.
I'm going to shoot at which one of these up top looks worst?
Make a medicine check.
Medicina.
Gotta open the character sheet.
And yeah, that's the Wanderer's Lore feature that lets you use the Bardic Inspiration die for.
Oh wait, why is that wasn't supposed to be with advantage. Why did it default to advantage?
Oh wait, no, it's not that. It's
All right, my first roll was a 4. So which one do I think is
Magical
the
Inspiration,
most?
That's it. With a 4, with a 4, they are hard to tell. It's hard to tell which one's most injured, mostly because they don't care about injuries. Most things when you're trying to tell how injured they are, you're like looking for them to be favoring a side or.
Then I'm just gonna shoot the closest one.
Yeah, they don't seem to give a shit if they're injured. 22 will hit.
Hold on just a second. Gotta peek at the things. I don't have a bonus action, so there's no way for me to get a second attack. It's just the one.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
So it does hit. Roll damage.
Yeah. Yeah, but hitting twice is better than hitting once.
Sure. So you're aiming at this one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now 9 points of lightning damage to it. There's a hyena-like squeak in response. All right. Anything else on your turn?
No.
Okay.
I could move, but why?
This knoll is going to slide down the ridge. And make it to there. And lob a spear at Martin Victoria.
Come at me.
A 7 will miss. So a crudely made spear just ricochets off the side of Martin Victoria's exoskeleton or exterior. This gnoll, who has a broken bow, is going to similarly escape the muck. And then get to there. And throw a spear. A 10, I think, also misses you.
Yep.
This one is going to have half speed.
I've got plenty of AC and lots of hit points. Keep coming for me.
Still has his bow. That one still has his bow, right? Hang on. He's not going to move. He's just going to shoot.
Oh, that's difficult terrain.
Yeah, I just moved it back. So that he didn't actually move at all. And yes, I'm aware it's difficult terrain. 16 to hit? For Martin Victoria?
Martin Victoria?
Yeah.
16 meets it.
All right, so then you will take 4 points of piercing damage as an arrow lodges itself into one of the softer parts of the automaton, the aormaton.
All right, let me assign that damage.
And then it's Fyron's turn. Fyron is going to slide down over here and come to meet this gnoll. And a 21 will hit. 16 bludgeoning, and he will also expend a spell slot for some divine eminence to deal an extra 3d6. Five. All right. Worm is going to follow because it's fun fighting with. Worm seems to be enjoying fighting with Fyron.
Good.
And we'll flank for advantage to do another primal savagery with advantage. 21. And kill it.
Nice. Good dog.
The knoll up there that speared that now has a Najka right below and a frog right in front will pull a second spear off of his back and attempt to jam it directly into the frog. A 17 will hit the frog.
Yep.
For 9 piercing damage.
All right.
Elefira.
Yep. I am going to leap onto Grouper's back.
I have no interest in taking part in this. I would like to resist it.
All right. Give me an acrobatics check with disadvantage, Elefira, because it is being resisted.
12.
12. Let me see real quick. It's slippery, but you're able to not get knocked off immediately.
Beautiful. And then I'm stabbing the knoll.
All right.
I'm assuming I have enemy within 5 feet, so I have sneak attack. Not
Yeah. You don't have advantage, but yes, you do have allies in 5 feet of him.
That is a 24 to hit for 15 cold damage.
All right. Takes the hit. Still standing.
And offhand attack.
Go ahead and roll damage.
I think I missed.
Go ahead and roll damage.
This doesn't have obviously the +4. So, or the sneak attack,
Okay.
just one.
While Grouper is wriggling, trying to get you off of his head, you slip and fall and plant your nail file into the frog for 1 point of piercing damage.
That's your fucking fault. Hold still.
Najka.
Okay, mechanical question. Am I technically adjacent to this thing?
No, it's above you.
Okay, so it also does not qualify as giving me disadvantage if I choose to shoot it.
Correct.
So yeah, she just slides the forge hammer back into the loop on her belt, pulls the shotgun axe. Actually, no, she's not gonna pull the shotgun axe. She just reaches with her other hand under her coat and just pulls out a pistol and just aims it up at the knoll, and then looks off to the side while she shoots. Bloody hells, you two! Get your shit together!
Shut up.
Peacemaker. 13.
13 will miss. Elevira shouts, "Shut
That
up!"
was 100% our fault.
Which gives the knoll enough chance to duck out of the way as the shot goes wide.
This is the best possible result.
It was like fire. The thing actually because of your callback, it realized that I was there long enough to duck. Yeah.
Tenebris' turn. Tenebris is going to. Does Tenebris have any ranged weapons, ranged attacks that aren't spells?
They have a sling.
I don't know if he does. He has a blowgun.
Blowgun, that was it.
Yeah, he's gonna blowgun that one. What's the range on a blowgun? So disadvantage because it's just outside of. Oh, no, I can move a little bit closer, 25 feet. Yeah, one step closer. So yeah, Tenebris moves a little bit closer to one of the gnolls further up. Pulls a little blowgun, a little reed blowgun out of his belt and. Let me set this to that. A 15 hits. 4 piercing damage, which is exactly enough to kill that one. And let's see. Bonus action continues to mutter under his breath for the to keep the mire up.
Realized that I hadn't named the shotgun axe like I had the pistol, so now the shotgun axe is named Grudge Settler, as opposed to Peacemaker.
This gnoll, who also broke a bow. 10, 20, 30, and throws a spear at Tenebris because he's closer. And hits. Tenebris gets spear checked in the gut for 8 piercing damage.
Ow.
Pistol shrimped in the giblets.
Davina.
Figuring out which one's in my line of sight.
So that is a swamp, not a fog cloud. So you can see.
Oh,
both of
okay. So I
those.
can. So this one
Yeah,
that's
yes,
in
you
front
can
of
see them.
Tenebris, I
Yep.
can see that.
Mhm.
Okay.
That is
Okay,
swampy
she-
terrain, not a fog cloud.
Yeah, they're just trudging through a morass that wasn't there a minute ago.
Yeah, she will attempt to mind thrust it.
All right. Intelligence.
I would have loved if you had mind thrusted the one next to Najka and Elafira and it had died, so it looked like Najka's shot did hit it.
That was the other one. I was looking between these two. Yeah.
5. A 5 will fail. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, oops. Are you kidding me?
1 point of psychic damage. It doesn't even notice.
I keep rolling the absolute lowest on this. I haven't rolled above a 3 on my damage for this.
Mind thrust has been unfortunate.
That's how that's how cantrips work sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else in your turn?
Nah.
All right. Giant toad.
Is Elafira still standing on me?
Yes.
I feel like I have 3-point stance at this point because I did accidentally slip and stab you. But definitely I feel like I'm still on top of you.
All right. The toad just sort of like ducks down a little bit and sort of tilts like if it's not projected too much,
trying to eject Elvira?
No, I'm trying to encourage Elafira to get off.
Give me an athletics check.
That's a waste of an action.
All right. There's no response?
Nope.
All right, then I jump on this fucking knoll.
All right.
Yes.
Dexterity save from
All
Elvira.
smash after all.
Sorry, what?
I need a dexterity saving throw from Elvira.
Oh, deck saving throw. Sorry.
So yeah, the knoll leaps while you are on it.
19, motherfucker.
Okay, you managed to stay on top of the toad. So make your attack.
God, this would have been so cool if we'd done this on purpose while we were still
Right?
dating. All right. Do I
Elvira,
get?
Toad Rider.
Listen, it's not the first time I've ridden this frog. It's just been 5 years.
That's right, baby. Are we? Do I get
You're
any
welcome.
kind of advantage?
You're welcome,
because-
Holly.
No advantage.
Do I
no,
get
you
any
just-
kind of?
No
Do I get any
advantage.
advantage because I'm jumping on this thing?
No.
Or is it just a normal bite attack?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Jesus, that's an 8. I would like to use inspiration on that
Roll it again.
to not be embarrassed in front of my ex-girlfriend. That's a 16.
A 16 will hit, and with 8 piercing, you kill it and swallow it.
Could I just squoosh it?
Yeah, you can do that too.
All right. I think the giant toad turns and looks slightly apologetically at Najka.
So much drama. Martin Victoria.
Right. We're going to cast oh no, wait. Wait, hold on. This was weird and I didn't fix it in between. I'm all out of spells. Fine. Then I'll do something different. I'll just do the same thing I've been doing.
I'll do something different. The same thing I've been doing.
I was gonna get fancy with it, but I'm all out of fancy. So I'm going to shoot
Blast.
this one.
All right.
2 times. 2 shots this time.
One shot now, y'all.
Oh,
I only
Go
take
ahead
one
and
shot.
Roll the damage from the natural 20 first. So, 7.
That's 6, my dude.
Sorry, 6. But
wait.
I'm
did it-
trans and queer. Math just get fucked.
Oh, that's 2 dice. Okay. I rolled the dice poorly.
Yeah, no, you rolled a 1 and a 2.
Yeah, that was not good. And
The second attack will hit.
my crit did as much damage as my bonus attack.
Was that, were you using a charge for that one?
Yeah, I'll use a charge for that one.
Yeah, that way you get the ability score. Alright. But fortunately, the two attacks combined mean you kill the knoll.
Yeah.
Just the electric emitting hand just thrusts out, and 2 shots of electricity, 2 lightning strikes, and crackling with electricity, the knoll collapses. Anything else at your turn?
No, I think that's everything I can do. All
right.
Other than move, but I'm good. There's no reason to move.
This knoll runs up here to attack Firen. A natural 20.
Uh-oh.
Gets Firen for 10 points of piercing damage. And then this knoll sees that one of his allies has struck a good blow on one of the other humans and turns his bow to aim at Firen. A 19 hits for 3 piercing.
Got the deck hammer in 2 hands right now.
Who'd that target?
Firing.
Firing. Yeah, his deck hammer in 2 hands also doesn't have a shield.
Yeah.
Byron's turn. Byron is going to... he can probably take a few more hits. Is his determination. So he will, instead of curing himself, he will hit a knoll. Scramble up a ridge. Flanking with Wolf, with Worm. .21 will hit. For 9 bludgeoning, and another spell slot for Divine Eminence. So 19 total. Alright, and Worm doesn't even have to move. $21. 8. Worm gets another kill. Worm just got like 3 null kills in a row.
Worm has been popping off.
Elefera.
Byron loosens them and Worm opens the jar.
Hold fucking still, please. And I'm whipping out my bow. I'm shooting the last knoll.
Go ahead.
It's not putting Ella in direct danger. Grouper's trying to hold real still.
You did not hold still, motherfucker. You know what? No, I am going to inspiration this.
Okay. On 11, you get the shot off.
I feel like you still didn't hold it still enough.
You get the shot off, but it falls short and lands in the mire.
I said hold fucking still.
Anything else
All
on
right.
your turn?
It doesn't matter whether they were holding still or not. That would have
No,
been
no, it really doesn't.
Now Grouper's moving like the frog from the GIF. In response to that, Grouper's just like, all right, fine.
Anything else
He's
on your turn?
big.
Elefera.
Oh! There's a brief consideration for an offhand attack, but we do not.
All right.
To be clear, that was not serious. Grouper is not.
No,
actually
I know.
dancing.
There is still brief consideration for an offhand attack.
Oh, I have no doubt.
We need to
The
get,
image was in my head.
we need to
The
get
damage has been
Elefera.
done.
We need to get Elefera a pair of hand crossbows. Is what I'm hearing.
I have a bow. It's just
Well, no, yeah,
dice.
hand crossbows, because then you can offhand shoot with the other hand crossbow.
That's also fair. Yeah, I'm going to get off the frog as opposed to get the frog off, which is what used to happen, and come over here. I'm just doing it to drive Holly nuts
You
You
come,
are
at this
cruel.
point.
coming over there as opposed to coming over the frog.
Exactly. Because the frog has nothing to do with my coming anymore.
Tenebris is gonna blow dart. No.
There was just the saddest little noise from Holly.
Did you just pass my turn?
Oh, Najka, sorry. Najka, your turn.
How much movement does it take to slide down this cliff face?
It's easier to slide.
No,
it's easier
I'm
to
not
slide down than it is up. So it's just 5 feet down.
Okay.
Can I extend my tongue and help?
5,
No,
10, 15.
not
20,
Najka, anyways.
30.
Not Ella anymore either.
The swamp is difficult terrain. So when you get
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would take me all 30 just to get here. At which point, yeah, Nashka just sort of does the Vashta Stampede, like slides down the slope while leveling the gun and like stumbles forward into the swamp and then fires once they get within optimal range.
Yep.
17.
17 will hit. Roll damage.
9 piercing damage.
Yep. 9 piercing damage. All right. Anything else in your turn?
That's it.
Tenebris. Will blow dart. Will attempt to blow dart. But will miss. Davina. And bonus action to cackle again. So, Davina.
All right. Moving forward a little, taking out the crossbow and just trying to shoot this thing.
All right. You're finished with mental warfare. Now for the physical. 18 will hit.
Right. Yay.
Uh,
5.
Is your... Oh, I guess your dex is 10.
What is my dex? No, it's 14.
Oh, well, then that
Should
should...
be 7.
Yeah, you should have 2 more.
Unless you aren't proficient in
Oh,
crossbows.
it says +2 next to it. It just didn't add that in there.
Okay.
I'll look at
Yeah,
your character sheet later.
then 7.
All right.
The +2 isn't on the damage. It hasn't been applied to the damage formula on that attack.
Okay.
Wait.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
It
no,
also
that's
hasn't
my
been
fault.
it also wasn't applied to the attack because the attack
That's
is
because
+2
you're
for your
that's
proficiency.
because it
Okay.
doesn't look like you're proficient.
No, that's +2 for proficiency.
Yeah, the
It wasn't
proficiency
adding
Then-
dex to attack or damage.
If you're +2 for
It's-
proficiency, then there's no then there's no dex bonus to that attack,
Yeah,
which means
Yeah.
there's no dex bonus to the damage.
Yeah, it's
That-
not
it
applying.
makes
It's not
sense.
applying dex to either attack or damage there.
yep. Hang on, I'll fix it. Yeah, it's because you've got it set to apply strength, not dex.
That would
Okay.
explain. it.
Yeah, no, that's my bad.
I'm assuming your strength is 10.
I'm pretty sure.
It is.
Yes.
That tracks.
There, fixed it, and also applied
Yep.
damage. Il todo gigante.
It takes me a bonus action to shift out, right? Or bonus action, yeah. To
I
shift
think so.
out.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to hop to here. Turn back into grouper. And walk to here. And Elafira is looking north.
Yes. That's
Right.
where the bad guy is.
Comes up and sort of like holds out a hand and clearly considers very carefully where to put it,
Yes.
and then just like reaches down and kind of slaps the back of your heel and casts Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Got Bardic if you want to spend it.
Yeah, I do. So
I was wondering there if you were going to push or like.
D6.
so it's an extra D6.
Yeah.
So it is a 7 from the heal itself, and then so 11 points total.
I am doing good.
Yep.
It was probably good berries.
You feel
Just
this?
little crackly good berries.
Oh, the fireworks.
Yeah,
For
for the inspiration, yeah.
Grouper.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And you,
Uh,
and
I
you
just
have
turn
that-
around and looking like, heal? Really?
And Gruber just points to his head where she stabbed him and goes, "Head, really?"
Oh, we're not doing this right now.
There is a sensation in the healing of being like fully buoyant and supported in water. Like being safely adrift.
Sense of
Okay.
semi-weightlessness. Anything else on your turn?
I think that's literally everything on my turn.
Martin Victoria and the good goblins.
We've only got one left, so let's just shoot it some more.
Forming now
Shooting
live
is good.
from the swamp.
Whoa. Whoa.
A 9 will miss. The 24 will hit.
And that's with the charge.
Okay. And that will kill the gnoll. All right. We are out of initiative, and as initiative ends...
I look over. Oh, I guess we are doing this now.
The swamp goes away and reverts. And you may continue. All right, you're out of initiative.
If Elafira and Grouper are arguing right now, Martin Victoria is just going to shoot the last knoll and turn around and climb up that ridge.
So Grouper just in response to, I guess we are doing this now, goes, we got friends who are hurt. We can do this later. And turns and will, unless she stops him, start trying to scramble down the ledge.
They're fine. But no, she doesn't stop.
Martin
Everybody
Victoria
looks
says,
mostly okay, I believe.
I think Grouper is the most hurt out of
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah,
From the I'm an adventurer standpoint, everybody's fucking fine as far as Ellen's concerned. We have some damage. This is how it works. But
Martin Victoria gets up to you guys after
as Grouper goes
uses the
down,
light and just stands right in front of Elafira, looking down at her.
you all right?
I don't think the robot does facial expressions, does he?
it's just like a blank slate of a face.
That's why it's a stare like,
Yeah.
you all right?
They'll just turn around and stand between you and everybody else.
Yeah, good to see you too.
If either Grouper or Ella are looking at Davina at any point, she is giving the most like disappointed mom look to both of them.
I was wondering if it was going to be disappointed mom or kicked puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it had to be one of
right.
those two.
But I like disappointed mom.
Actually, no, it's disappointed mom with a little touch of kicked puppy in there.
I probably would be, but there's a giant robot in front of me, so I don't think I see much.
Really quickly, all of you, give me a nature or religion roll.
Yeah.
22 religion.
I am equally bad at both.
14 nature.
19 religion.
A 17 religion.
21 either one.
All of you that got higher than a 12 sort of come to the realization at the same time. If there were gnolls here, then that means that there are unsent corpses somewhere nearby.
Do the corpses need, I mean, do the gnolls need to be sent also, or not because they are
So,
children of the monsters?
As you look and see the gnolls, there is, as they've hit the ground, there is no ether coming off of them at all.
Okay.
The Nashka was already looking, trying to see.
Oh, no.
Nashka, who looks completely uninjured, her armor just has like some scrapes off to one side, as from where arrows and spears have just glided off the sides of it. It's just like looking around for any sign of where the gnolls came from, which would be a sign of where the corpses would be. that
Jeremy?
need to be sent.
Yeah, they came from two sides, so
Yeah.
Whichever side Najka is not going to, I'm going to.
Go ahead.
Like, I feel like we have experience dealing with this kind of thing, so.
Check.
Can I use my thermal sight to scan for any residual heat
Yeah.
if
So
it's recent?
perception check from the good goblins, and then survival from Najka and Elvira.
Could I make an argument for investigation?
Yeah, it could be investigation or survival. Yeah.
I argue perception as well.
No, because you don't have special sight that lets you look for specific things like heat.
Fair.
Can I investigation?
I'll just say investigation would also
If
be
you
better
would-
for me.
If you'd rather investigation, then yeah, you can do that.
I get 1 extra point to it. I did bad. Do I have any, and I don't have any inspiration. You don't give me enough inspiration.
I will take the 20 on investigation.
I will take my 13 because I don't have any choice.
Is anyone else looking around for stuff?
I was checking to see how everybody was doing. I rolled a 22 medicine earlier.
Yeah, you're the most injured right now.
Yeah.
Even
Okay.
counting Firen, who might have taken more damage than you personally, but has a higher hit point pool.
I don't think so. I got killed about 3 times in that fight. Not all of it as grouper, but
Davina, anything?
Davina's just staring Grouper down right now.
So
Wow.
intimidation.
You're in
Not
trouble.
no, the disappointed look.
It's okay. Roll me intimidation.
Oh, okay.
I was asking for a roll. I wasn't making a suggestion.
18.
Yeah, no, you're getting the full disappointed mom look, Grouper.
grouper
Like-
looks back. What?
Like you're expecting to hear your full name being called and everything.
Don't know if Grouper has a middle name.
Grouper has a full name.
All right.
Would
Did-
she know it?
That's up to you.
Probably. I think so. In Aquin, Grouper's full name is a burden unlooked for but forced upon one who is worthy.
Okay.
It sounds like sort of like a waterfall effect almost in Aquin.
He does not like it.
In his head, he will just hear, "We will talk later."
You hear back. I don't know what we have to talk about. I used the vines and acted according to the teachings of Father Mo-
I said later.
and I didn't stab anyone.
And she walks off at this point.
Gruber just sort of looks down, looks at all the blood on him, looks over at Tenebris, who is injured but not terribly, right?
Right.
Looks over at Firen, who is more injured. Looks down at looks down at Flop, who is uninjured, and just kind of reaches out and gives Flop a tired scritch behind the curve of the skull, and goes, "Well, hooray for homecoming, I guess."
Yeah, Firen's at
Martin
21.
Victoria doesn't look injured, but does have a couple arrows sticking out of the
Firen
robot.
has a couple of arrows. He's sort of snapping out of his armor, and yeah, he's got 21 of 38 hit points, so he's doing fine. So with the 20 investigation from Najka, the 13 on the side that you're on, Elfir, you're not finding anything. Najka, looking around, you don't see anything in the immediate area, but you do see the telltale signs of ether wisps coming from a little bit deeper into the up the mountain range, which would indicate a direction for you at least to travel to find wherever these gnolls were spawning from.
She sort of calls back. Slight detour, gang. We've got some bodies to send, and she's gonna start making her way towards that to try and find those and send them before more monsters keep showing up.
On it. Meaning that I'm coming over.
Yeah, moving that direction.
I'm assuming you're all following Nashka.
Yes, Davina's following Nashka too.
It's about 5 minutes hiking up the mountain. When you find yourself standing on the lip of like a sort of a naturally formed, it looks almost like a crater, where it's just a point where the mountain ridge suddenly dips, and it's just a large pit. And inside that pit, all of you give me a Constitution saving throw real quick.
15.
Nope.
That's from Elefira, from
Where is
Nashka.
con save?
Up
Same
next
place
to
where your
your
saving throws are.
Constitution.
Nothing is
Oh.
roll. I'm just gonna roll in
Sorry.
here.
There we go.
That's an 8.
So Nashka and the people that are not here to roll for themselves NPCs, you're sort of fine at the smell. The rest of you smell the smell was being sort of hidden by the fact that it was in this pit, but it is weeks old, maybe even months old decay and rot. Just hits you as you step up to the edge of this pit, and it is stomach turning. As you inhale it and look down, and you can see that there is probably a good dozen or so corpses just in a pile, surrounded
Humanoid
by
corpses?
humanoid corpses, surrounded by paraphernalia of knoll paraphernalia, basically like flags and totems and the like. Seems like
I'm
they were
shutting off.
actively gathering bodies here to keep the ether going.
I'm shutting
Nashka,
off the breathing.
Nashka pulls
Not
the
breathing
forge
it
hammer
anymore.
out and begins her rite of sending.
What do you pull out?
The forge hammer.
What does your right look like?
She sort of holds the forge hammer like up to her chest, the head near like under her chin, and she just sort of begins to pray into the air. All hammer, burn away the pain and suffering of this place. Dawn Father, grace the fallen souls with your light. Ever light, forgive them of their sins. And she will turn the hammer down and just let the flames of the forge hammer ignite the pile of corpses.
Go ahead.
I immediately once I got the basics, I backed the fuck off.
Grouper assisting with violin from the background. Go ahead and give me a religion check with advantage, Nashka.
21.
21. That's more than enough. Yeah. As you set the pile of corpses alight, you watch as the ether, sort of the motes of ether that are drifting off of these corpses are this sort of like dark red almost obsidian color hue of just light and energy. And as the torch hits the corpses and you finish your incantation and the violin plays in the background, you watch as that dark color hue of the ether just sort of ripples away, turning this sort of golden blue color before drifting slightly higher than it had been previously and beginning to vanish.
And the last line of the prayer as she watches the ashes sort of rise up into the air. Matron of Ravens, see them unto a peaceful sleep.
Given the go ahead and anyone that wants to can give me a survival check given what you found here.
Yes.
You have to still be there looking at it just to make
No,
the roll,
just
or
with the
Okay.
information's in your head.
yeah, nope, that tracks.
I'm
Distracted.
focused on the ritual.
I'm just getting away from ew.
With a 15, Davina, thinking about
and annoyed.
thinking about the smell, thinking about how long that sort of implies these bodies have been here, and the number of gnolls that you fought. There are probably a lot more gnolls in the mountains than just the ones you fought. That's been this pile has been being gathered by them for a little while. Because obviously, if this many people had gone missing at once, there would be patrols out. So, your estimation, what has probably been happening is they have been picking off like lone travelers, dragging them back here, and letting them just
Adding
sit
them to
and
the
rot.
pile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which means that this has been here long enough for who knows how many gnolls or other creatures to have spawned within the Farosh Mountains.
And everyone will hear in their heads, we need to get out of here soon.
So
There are
let's go.
There's probably a large amount of gnolls in these mountains.
We should let
Let's
the
fucking go.
who's
Yeah,
it
we'll
going
have to warn Creedon when we get to them.
Yeah.
But you
Somebody
On our
needs to
way.
be sent out to deal with this.
And this can't be allowed to keep happening.
They're definitely picking off people and travelers.
Sooner we tell people, the better. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
you retreat from the mass grave, and return back to the road and continue on the path towards Kratom.
Does Freedom know to have any kind of militia or
Yeah,
ranging organization?
Kratom, Iorna, and Skrios have their own like guard functionally. It's part of the same organization that guards the walls. So yeah,
Kratom's also home to a Cobalt Soul repository, so
Yes.
has more information and such.
yeah.
Okay.
Kratom is where is a Cobalt Soul repository as well as several temples. It functions sort of as like a being natives of the island, you would know Kratom functions as sort of like a pilgrimage stop. People that are going on religious journeys and pilgrimages that cross the Lucidian Ocean in either direction typically stop here and spend a week or so journeying to Kratom and back before they continue on. So this is one of the reasons why there might be travelers on the road is to pilgrimage to freedom, and because of that, they do have a variety of defenses and also just various off-island interests that come here. Passing the mountain, the road finally sort of turns past the mountain range, and when it does, you can actually see Kratom from quite a distance. It's at the far end of a forest that opens up just to the north of you, and you're still looking uphill, but you can sort of see in the sun uphill from you, this tall, sturdy stone walls and the spires of a few cathedrals. As you can see Kratom in the distance.
Are we at getting there before the end of the day status?
Yeah,
or is this...
when it's in sight, you'll probably get in there before the end of the day. It
Okay.
will probably, depending on how slow you travel through the forest, it'll be probably right before sundown, but you'll definitely be there before sundown.
Cool.
And as you head up towards Kratom, that's where we're going to take our break. So those of you that are watching live, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. And remember, when we take our break, you take yours. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. And we're back. A dinosaur story. Oh, wait. Why did all the cameras rearrange? Oh, no, the cameras didn't rearrange. Jack's camera's off. That's what it is. All right.
You're fucking up.
No. I saw the name instead of your face, and I thought that the fill-in camera had swapped with you, but that was not.
No.
All right. So, our daring, adventuresome ne'er-do-wells
Always do wells.
have completed their journey to Creedom, or at least the first step of their assigned journey. Very quickly, you can get inside the gates. The forest itself is relatively calm and peaceful. It's not there aren't a lot of ground dwelling animals in the forest around Creedom, mostly because it's at the tip of the hill, basically. It's relatively steep ground, constantly going up. Most things that live in that forest live in the trees instead, because it's just easier. Is a little bit interesting because a lot of the trees there sort of have a bend in the trunk. Because the land itself is tilted, trees still grow towards the sun. There's like a distinct curve at the base of all of them, but when they straighten themselves out while they grow, which makes
cool.
for relatively unique looking trees. And also part of the reason why most of the wildlife that lives here lives in them, because stability. But you get to the gates of Creedom. The gates aren't closed. You're allowed to go in. You make your report to the Creedom guard, who send a patrol out to go check, and not a big one. This is very obviously a scouting patrol, sort of get an idea of what is happening in the mountains right now. That might need a larger military force or the combined efforts of all three settlements on the island. But you are in Creedom. This is a much more urban city than Skrios is, which is possibly just due to the religious influence. The streets are all paved. There is an amount of terracing that has been done in order to make it so that the city is not just entirely slanted like Seattle. Although there are bits of it that are like Seattle for people that have been to Seattle. For those that have not, for people that have never been to Seattle, a large portion of Seattle, particularly heading towards the water, is on a hill.
Yep.
And it is very upsetting to be in a car in Seattle.
Nah, you get used to it.
If you're not used to constantly being on a hill.
If you're not used to it, I totally get it.
Yeah. It's just when I was up there for an extended period of time previously, there was just in the back of my brain, there was just like a sense of the city is just going to fall into the water.
Yep.
It has to.
Yep.
At some point, it's just going to fall over. Anyways, to alleviate that, most of the city is sort of built out from the main thoroughfares are all on a slant, but then the buildings have been sort of platformed out, so they're terraced up. Which definitely required a lot of extra work, but makes the buildings not feel like they're going to fall over. So, as you maneuver through the city,
Once we get inside,
go
sorry, go ahead.
No.
Once we get inside, I will catch up with you guys. I'm gonna check with some contacts at some local guilds I know here, and I will split off.
Yep.
And rush to where I can get in touch with my contact as quickly as possible.
Yep.
So I am so tempted to go full Clerks. Try not to suck it in dick while you walk across the parking lot. But Grouper wouldn't.
Oh, I wish he would.
The impulse is there. You feel it rising up. In the back of your mind, Grouper, there is another version of you wearing a black cloak, hood,
let yourself
face shadowed, face in shadow, and that fish-like mouth going, "Do it."
Let the dark side in. Yeah, it is. Your dark side pretty much would be Kermit the Frog in the Sith robe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Dark Kermit. Yeah. Um, but uh, but yeah. So you head off.
Yeah.
Everyone else, are you looking? What are you guys looking for while Elefira is running off to in some direction?
Najka's looking for the Cobalt Soul Archive.
All right. Um,
This is why I'm rushing, and I have cutting action, which means I can go quicker.
give me a stealth check, Jeremy.
All right. Hate that you're making me roll this because me and dice. 14. That's not bad.
Let me just look at some stuff real quick.
It is better than my passive perception. I'm sure. I don't know whether that's something you were looking at, but
I'm looking at lots of things. Don't worry. All right. So who all is going with Najka towards the Cobalt Soul? Is everyone else going with Najka, or are you guys splitting up in multiple directions?
We were going to the Cobalt Soul to warn them about the.
the Torchbearers.
Yeah, I'll go with.
Yeah, no, Davina's going with.
Is there any water around? I mean, I know we're near a cliff, but is there any access to the water from up here?
This will be your first time in Kratom. You give me an investigation check.
I'll be following with everybody else. I'll just be looking for what I think is a fairly standard thing for a group in a new place. 17.
17? Yes.
Looking for sources of water.
Yeah. There is. You can tell that they seem to have. There's a larger than you would expect number of wells. In town. It seems like they have prioritized fresh water up here. There, and you can also tell that there is a what you've never seen before, but Shawnee and Najka and the Good Goblins and Tenebris would recognize, and Elefira, who could probably see it from a different location. There is an airship tower in Creedom. Relatively new. Like you, as far as you all recall, it wasn't here 5 years ago. But there's an airship tower, and along the way, while you are heading towards the Cobalt Soul, all of you would pass a building that some of you would recognize the name of, but all of you know wasn't here 5 years ago either. And may in fact explain why there's an airship tower now. Where is it? What's the name? Hang on. Yes. There is a building labeled Gilmore and Weaveborn's Glorious Goods. It looks kind of like a large tent that has been turned into a building, with a sign hanging off one side that has this sort of fabulous looking unicorn, and the sort of calligraphic handwriting style of print on the sign with the name.
It's been a while since I've seen a Gilmore's. Well, no, it's been since I was last in Whitestone since I've seen a Gilmore's, but that's actually been a while.
What's a Gilmore's?
One-stop magic shop for all things adventurers and other people might need.
Oh. Grouper is just, I think, as we pass wells, he's just using shape water to grab like little blobs of water, and it's just sort of moving them around over his body to re-moisten the water.
Yeah, the original proprietor, Gilmore, Sean Gilmore, is a well-known friend of the Lord and Lady of Whitestone.
Oh.
And also getting on in age. No one's seen him at a Gilmore's in a while.
He may be either approaching or at retirement at this point. But
Definitely a lich at this point.
The general assumption is that he's retired, hence the adjustment to the name. But no one has seen him. No one other than personal friends has seen him in a few years. So, at any of his establishments, that has not seemed to have slowed the expansion though, as the locations are popping up in places across the world.
I mean, there's one in
Continually.
Creedom.
Yeah, there's one in Creedom that's popped up in the past 5 years, apparently. Elefira.
Yep.
You make it to the Cobalt Soul archive. It is a relatively, it's a relatively simple looking monastic structure. It's like looks like sort of a small cathedral, though you know the insides of it are much more of a library than a cathedral. And getting inside, you can very easily find your way to the attendant clerk that you would go to for your particular business.
Okay.
Are you checking to see if there are any messages for you, or are you looking to send a message?
Yes, both. Both,
Okay.
actually.
The clerk doesn't sell you. There's no message, but they do have some books on hold for you.
Okay.
Which you know is means that there's a code. There's something about the
Right.
book. Typically, the number of books and the topic of the books is the code. Whatever the topic of the books is, tells you where you will need to be, and the number of books tells you when you will need to be there in months, in weeks. One book is a week.
Cool. So I will grab those, and I am leaving a message for my contact, basically updating them on everything, and most notably saying, we appear to be heading that way anyways. Need to talk to you to confirm this is what I'm suspecting is what is the case.
Right.
And need permission to divulge some things because I think there's going to be need to share some details.
Okay.
And then I am going to hide somewhere in the building so I can decode this shit.
The books that you are given, you don't think you're gonna need too long to decode them, because it is 6 books, all of which are about the wildlife and culture around in the area around the town of Stilben.
Okay. 6 months, Stilben. Got it.
6 weeks, but yeah.
6 weeks, Sylvan. Got it. Give the books back, and I am leaving before other people show up.
Okay. The rest
and
of
I'm
you,
going to a bar to get wasted.
Yeah. The rest of you arrive at the Cobalt Soul. Grouper, you are the only one that notices of honestly, you're the only one that would recognize the back end of Elefira heading down an alleyway.
You had to phrase it that way.
Yep.
Old habits die hard.
So does Grouper.
So
Would I have seen this?
They were.
There's a chance I would see this.
None of them were sneaking. So yeah, you definitely would have seen them as you were leaving. You would have seen them approaching.
Did I see Grouper see me though?
You would not have seen Grouper see you though.
Okay.
Too far away.
Okay.
By the time he
fair
would have
enough.
seen you, you would have been already almost out of the way. He's the only one that saw you. So.
I guess I'm judging this entirely from Elvira's ass, but Does she seem okay?
Insight
Is that a
check
happy
that
ass?
ass.
Give me an insight check with disadvantage.
On that ass.
So shake that ass, bitch, and let me see how you feel. All of my windows. That's an 8.
I mean, might Grouper have advantage because of familiarity with said?
With said
No,
ass.
because it's at a distance in an alleyway. It doesn't
I
matter
feel
how.
like-
I know. I just
I-
wanted to make the joke.
I feel like, to be fair, my familiarity with dead ass is the only reason I didn't have disadvantage on that check.
Basically,
That's fair.
I feel like
From
the
the-
complexity of emotion that Grouper feels in this moment upon witnessing dead ass is a reason why he is unable to glean more information in this moment.
Yeah, mostly
Legit.
you're desperately trying to fit. If you stare hard enough at how it bounces, maybe you can figure out.
What is this, Metal Gear Solid?
Right now, all you can tell, all you have memory of right now is, for some reason, bouncing coins off of it, and that's it.
Snake.
Oh,
I'll just
Forgot
whisper
that was
to
literally a thing in the first MCS game.
yep,
know, I
sure
know.
is.
I'll just whisper to what is the general, because I don't think Rupert's been here, because it doesn't have ready
Yeah, no, this is
ocean access, right? Like, he's swum by below, but I don't think Grouper's ever been here. What is the general feel to this city? Does it feel safe?
Yeah, it feels relatively safe once you're, especially inside the walls. It doesn't feel particularly. You haven't been here long enough to get a feel for like if it has a seedy underbelly. But you know it's a relatively common pilgrimage destination. There are lots of churches. Like, there are basically every faith that you can think of, and some that you don't recognize are represented in structures around the town.
Okay.
And she's near a Cobalt Soul archive, which are generally safe places to be. So,
All right. Grouper just leans over to Flop and says, just like quietly, but we'll go, I know you miss her. I think she's okay, but if you want to go keep an eye on her, you can. And Flop will sort of flop off in the direction that Elefira went. Much, much slower than Elefira if Elefira is running.
have
But
Flop make a survival check.
hooray! I have been wetting down Flop as well, by the way. Weirdly not proficient, so I guess just a wisdom check.
So what you're saying is Flop sweat.
Yeah, Flop sweat, exactly. Just a 9.
The 9, Flop returns to you relatively shortly after. Flop didn't see Elevira in the first place. You're the only one that saw
Yeah.
her. But following your direction, Flop is unable to follow Elefira.
Okay, I'll give Flop another one of those scritches at the base of the skull, and then just follow on with everybody else.
But yes, meanwhile, the rest of you all enter into the Archive of the Cobalt Soul. For those of you that have never been inside of one, which might be any of you, because they're not places that they are open to the public wherever they are, but they're not places everyone frequents. The exterior is a small cathedral. The inside is a large library.
Oh,
And not in a it's bigger on the inside sort of way. No, it's just that a small cathedral is a big fucking building, and they have filled every square inch of it with library. Wall to wall books and bookshelves, stacks several, like a dozen or so deep. An intricate filing system, and people on hand at various locations to assist you with any sort of searching criteria that you might be doing or anything else. All the people that you see here are wearing these sort of cobalt blue robes. Several of them have adornments and adjustments that seem to indicate various different levels of staff or various different sort of practices within the organization. You know that there is a monk order. There's an order of monk adept monk warriors attached to the Cobalt Soul. You can sort of tell the difference between library staff and monks by the way they carry themselves more than anything else, because the robes tend to be consistent. Though it's definitely not only people that practice that sort of martial arts aspect to it, because there are people here with the occasional dagger, the occasional bow. It seems that they do have a variety of different sort of talent lines within the Cobalt Soul.
I feel like Najka's probably been in one of these a couple of times because she's probably had to work with the Cobalt Soul at one point or another for various missions for Whitestone.
Does it look like Notchka's taking point?
She's planning to, because she's mostly just trying to see if she can find someone nearby who might be able to tell her if there's an expositor or anyone else of particular authority nearby who she can talk to.
Where is Najka, or at least 5 years ago during their childhood, where is Najka most comfortable being touched by a small person? Like knee.
And yeah, if you just tap the side of her knee, she doesn't have a problem with it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Grouper will go ahead.
This is a complete aside. I should just point out the pedant in me has to point out that a dagger is not indicative of a monk.
Yeah, monks use daggers all the time.
It is absolutely a monk weapon.
It is, but Cobalt Soul monks typically rely on quarterstaffs and darts, not daggers.
You're not wrong.
And
That's
I
fair.
tried. I honestly tried.
That is entirely
but
fair.
my brain wouldn't let me not.
That's entirely fair. Long swords as well, I should say.
There you go. All right, I'm done.
What, Shawnee, what do you think a nickname that Grouper or like that Najka had when she was a kid was?
How poetic and or childish are you thinking?
Like something that you would use with your group of buddies.
I mean, I don't think she really takes to any kind of nickname, but but like the ones that have probably stuck to her that she didn't really object to would have either been Cinder or Sparks, based on everything that she's about.
Okay, yeah. So Grouper pats Najka on the side of the knee and just goes, "Go get him, Sparks," and cast guidance.
What's your question specifically for because it's easy to find people to talk to.
She was going to ask if there's an expositor or someone of similar authority that might be around that she could talk to.
Jack?
I do Bardic too. Just a little boop, spark.
Sure, if you want. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Roll so many dice.
I've got persuasion plus a D4 for guidance. I don't think I'll need that inspiration just yet. 21 persuasion.
Hooray.
Okay.
Save it for them.
Yes, I'll save the guy. I'll save
Most
the inspiration
important
when I need
moment.
it. Yeah.
With 21,
Sorry. I'm just picturing Grouper and Martin Victoria like linking up, like, we're gonna give you so many extra dice.
High five.
Yeah.
with 21 on
Go
persuasion,
Team Venture.
You can fit so many dice in this baby.
the Cobalt
Just slaps Najka.
the Cobalt Soul sort of clerical staff thinks about it for a minute. Well, we don't have any expositors on hand, at least not due for a while. We do have. There is a senior member of the Cobalt Soul who's in contact with us at the moment, and their acolyte is in the area. What's the message you'd like to pass along? We'll see. We'll get to them as quickly as possible, unless it's a face-to-face meeting you're looking for.
I was hoping to offer a report from the Chamber of Whitestone and several others about potential goings-on that might be a threat worth looking out for the Cobalt Soul as a whole.
And is this sort of you sort of see a slight shift in demeanor as you mentioned the Chamber of Whitestone? Would this be?
She's not hiding the symbol
yeah.
of the Whitestone Hunters. That's on her. That's on her jacket.
Obviously. Would this be confidential information or something that could be noted down for record?
I think at the moment it'll be confidential. I would leave it up to the archive to determine dissemination.
Well, please take some time amongst the archives. I know it's getting late, but let me relay a few messages and see what the decision will be.
All right.
They'll excuse themselves. Elefira,
Yep.
you're at a bar.
Yep. I'm specifically trying to get wasted as my cover story for. So I'm like probably 5 shots in at this point.
A small clockwork bird lands on your shoulder and disgorges a scroll
Okay.
before falling into pieces.
Yep. Open it up. He is a high functioning drunk, so it's fine.
On the scroll, this is not a message from your mentor. This is a message from someone else, who is asking if you have been given authority. Basically, you know who this is from. This is from the staff.
Right.
Asking what the current status of your mentor is, if you know.
That is a very good question. I have. This is how it's going to come out, because
and you know that you just have to write on the scroll for it to return.
She's a high functioning drunk, but she's also still drunk and really fucking frustrated with everything right now. So the response goes to the effect of, their status is, I have no fucking idea and I'm waiting. So as soon as you find out, please tell me.
You write it down. The scroll rolls itself back up and disappears.
Yep. Another round.
Wasn't it Bird that communicated with Fyron too?
Yeah, similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only ours was like just it wasn't really like a back and forth message. It was just a here are your new orders.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't hear anything else. You don't hear anything else at the moment, Elefira.
Okay, that's fine.
The rest of you, while you're waiting for an update, is there anything that you're doing while you're in the archive with Cobalt Soul?
No, she's just gonna peruse the stacks, see if anything catches her attention.
I'm going to be generally, obviously, an ancient Tet Aormaton.
Okay.
In the hopes that it will lend credence that maybe we have something interesting to say.
Anyone who'd like to can make an insight check on the good goblins.
What are they inciting?
And so I feel like the good goblins are just sort of helping Najka's point. I don't think she needs to incite that.
Are you?
You know, I'm towards the Cobalt Soul, not towards the.
Okay, sorry, that was not clear. I apologize. Never mind.
Yeah, she is acting as an augmentation for Najka's presence at this point.
They are, yeah.
They are.
The robot.
What?
I have all the pronouns covered.
I will shoot.
So,
You have a sampler pack for everybody inside. I will shoot a tentative psychic message at Davina while we're waiting. I'll wander over and start looking if they have any cool, like, illustrated zoological text, so I can study up on some different animal forms. But
Davina, do you?
That's mainly just to give myself something to do.
Davina, do you currently have a communication link up with the party or with Grouper?
I feel like she almost always does now. But yeah, she's got one up with the whole party. She can set one up just between the two of them if she needs to.
Grouper, what do you think at Davina?
Is this later?
All of you hear Grouper say that in your brain.
Even Ella,
Mhm.
she will drop the link with everyone and
And then,
pick it up with Grouper.
and
The
then all
best
of
part
you.
is I heard that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you felt
inside
you
the map.
yeah, you felt the communication drop.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like there's just a brief sense of annoyance from distant away from the
And intrigue.
Cobalt Soul, but no response.
Mhm.
No words.
Talking to Grouper, she will say, Ella needs to be here. This has to do with the two of you.
You need to be okay with the fact that we're not okay. You're right.
I
Wait.
understand that. You need to conduct yourselves like two reasonable, mature adults when we're in the middle of battle.
I hear what you're saying, and I just want to point out for the record, I communicated with the rest of the group. I worked to contain the opposing force. I used my new powers to shift into a useful, more mobile form, and I moved to a position where I would be in a place to help restore vitality to a downed comrade. And for that, and there is just a pause, and the voice sort of centers itself. I got stabbed in the head.
Twice.
The first time, you're absolutely correct. I feel like maybe we need to get me a bell or some sort of fetching scarf that is more immediately identifiable to everyone, so that when a giant toad appears, no one is concerned about whether it's about to eat them. You're right. And as annoyed as I am, I can't really fault Ella Fira for that.
Mm-hmm. And what happened when she tried to get on your back?
We jumped onto a knoll and squished it pretty good.
I'm talking about the trying to shake her off your back.
Yes, you may have noticed she was extremely injured and didn't communicate with me ahead of time. Had she done so,
Okay,
I would
no,
have attempted to
no.
indicate that it was.
Okay, no, we are having this conversation with Ella. Okay, the three of us. I will be a buffer if I have to. It's fine. But you are not going to stand here and put all the blame on her right now. She's not even here to defend herself.
Vina, if you need me to take blame, I'll take blame. But I love you too much to let you be a buffer in the
I'm
middle.
going to be a buffer. It's my choice, not yours.
And it's my choice not to choose to engage with this conversation right now.
It
We're
is
not
something that needs to be talked about so that it doesn't happen again next time something is attacking us, so we don't all die.
No one reading a picture book about animals has ever taken a breath this long as it is right now.
Yes, he's wildly misinterpreting that breath.
I hear what you have to say. I'm really glad you're back. If you think this is for the best, then I'll be here for it. I can't guarantee it's going to go well. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee it won't. But if that's what you need, that's what we'll do.
It's what the group needs.
Honestly, I feel like everybody else did pretty okay. You're right. We need to do better.
I'm not saying that Ella doesn't have her own thing coming, but I'm confused on how Ella has turned out to be the good guy in this situation.
Me too.
No, she's not the good guy. She just
isn't there to defend herself.
She isn't. Yeah, she isn't there to
Yeah,
defend
I get it.
herself.
I get
And
it.
she sees what Grouper is doing, and he's like, "It wasn't me. It was her." And yeah, no,
I
she's
get it.
not gonna
I
let
I mean,
that
also, I
absolutely
will
get
say
it.
out of character, it was not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's not gonna let that happen when Ella's not even there to defend herself.
At about this point, a Cobalt Soul member comes up to Najka. As Elefira, you feel a scroll enter your pocket. This one you know is from your mentor. And
Right.
it is a short coded phrase that says permission granted.
She stands up perfectly straight. Like she is drunk, but she is also perfectly well functioning drunk.
Mhm.
So just pots her neck to either side and starts walking back with speed to Cobalt Soul.
The Cobalt Soul archivist that approaches you, Najka. The acolyte of one of our ranking members is going to be coming here shortly to receive your report. So, if you would please follow me, I'll send you to. I'll put you in a meeting room for them to arrive.
All right.
And so the group of you are gathered up. You are allowed to, if you are really intent on reading that book, Grouper, you can take it with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Grouper's like, can I bring this with me?
Absolutely.
I really like the illustrations.
Yeah, you are, but this is it sort of has the feeling of like a reading room, basically. Like it's an off room. There are still more books inside it, although these seem to be much more or less. These are not the valuable books. These are just like sort of reference materials. The door is closed behind you. You are informed that the acolyte will be here shortly to receive your report. And
I did bring the bottle with me, by the way.
Gonna be great.
You come into the Cobalt Soul. The archivist.
Yep.
The
Hold
archivist.
on.
Oh, go ahead.
As Elefira enters, Martin Victoria would like to intercept her and motivate her to leave. Just walk out with her.
Well, are you in the?
We're not there yet. We're not in the room with you yet.
Sorry, yeah.
I think
the group of you
No,
have been.
I think
the group, unless Martin Victoria,
staying
as
outside.
Oh, okay, no, never mind.
yeah, unless the suit was staying outside.
No.
Okay, yeah. No, you're in the room. You're in a separate meeting room.
Yeah.
Elefira, you arrive back at the Cobalt Soul.
Yep.
An archivist approaches you and passes along. Your mentor has let us know that you have permission to speak with this group and receive their report on her behalf.
full transparency.
As far as we are aware, yes.
right.
And I will be taking that. They say somehow the bottle that was in your hands is not in your hands anymore.
Okay.
And
I can't pour some drinks for them.
We're in a library.
Fine.
You know that flammable liquids not
Yeah,
not
that's
allowed
not the-
in the
yeah.
archives.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Najka's very
make me
careful
less
about
annoyed.
Najka's very careful about her inner fire around a library.
They can't stop.
All right.
They can't stop people like Fire Ganassi from walking into the archives. They can stop flammable liquids from coming into the archives.
That is absolutely fair. I grabbed some paper just for the show of it, and scroll paper and quill and ink.
You are directed towards the room.
Open the door, walk in.
So you all turn to the door where you are expecting an acolyte of someone from the Cobalt Soul to walk in, and Elefira walks in holding some paper.
Yep.
Davina, in your head, you hear, fuck.
Out loud, everyone else hears fucking shite.
Well, hold on. I'm giving if Jack, if you want to do what you were gonna do.
No, I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
The
So I walk
setting changed and I was slow on the pickup, but
fair
I'm
enough.
still gonna do something. Don't worry.
Walk in, walk around behind desk, set paper down, set ink down. Well, shit.
All right, so I figure reintroductions are in order then.
No, I think we pretty much. I'm sorry. Do you need clarification on this point? At this point,
Yeah, I could use a little bit further explanation.
all right. I'm a member. I am in. I work for the Cobalt Soul. I am part of it. I think that pretty much explains everything.
Okay. This has changed the situation enough that we're gonna resume course.
Yep.
I would like to, if I can, make an intimidation roll as the engine on the back revs up, the hand sparkles with electricity, and just slamming both of them on the table.
Make an intimidation check.
Can I use my own bardic?
I believe bardic inspiration applies to other people primarily.
Oh,
There's a point where you can inspire yourself.
I think there's a level where you can do it to yourself, but I don't think it's early.
But it might be subclass specific. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. It
would be really nice to use my bardic, but you know.
You inspire others through stirring words and music, not yourself, until
That's
you
fine.
get to.
Oh, I had an inspiration the whole time. Oh well.
Is that a wisdom save?
What is your? And it's against a passive roll. Hang on.
My passive wisdom save is not good.
It is against your passive insight.
13, I believe.
Okay.
So you are being relatively intimidating. Alifera seems to be able to pull off a relative air of nonchalance.
That's
Are you
fine.
done?
The hands stay planted on your desk, still releasing electric zap zap zap. And the front opens and Gesby steps out onto your desk.
Okay. I guess.
You already know. You know what we were here to tell you, so we don't have to do this anymore.
You're right. We already know everything.
No business.
No business what?
Any of this.
No, you're legitimately going to have to clarify because I don't understand what you're about.
Your entire attitude is a problem. And I don't know if I want you around if you're going to behave like this. I don't know about the rest of them.
That is still an amount of business that is necessary. In particular,
hush! I'm talking.
I guess you
guys give us a moment.
There's still business when you're done.
You're absolutely correct. Gesby, I still don't understand what you're talking about.
First, you come back for the reunion and have a shouting match that the entire town can hear because you decided to dump your boyfriend and tell nobody about it and then be butthurt that nobody knew. That is so childish.
That has nothing to do with
that. Is so childish. I heard every word. Everyone heard every word.
You're right. And it didn't go well. And that's on two people at in this room right now, but that has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, but only one person in this room right now dumped their boyfriend.
Mm.
And then on top of that, that's one thing. That's one thing. But on top of that, we get attacked by a group of gnolls.
Mm-hmm.
You are actively dying.
We are not getting into this right fucking now.
You know what? I'm not interested in getting into anything else with you until we deal with this.
So, I'm sorry, Gesby, let's be clear about this. you would rather have me sit here and take you throwing accusations at me than deal with a situation that directly affects the well-being and finding out answers in regard to what happened to one of our friends, because you being angry is more important than Davina's well-being. Fuck off.
I mean, you already know everything Davina's told any of us. And you already know everything I have to say, except how much of an absolute baby you've been. If Nashka's still down to talk to you, you can hear whatever Nashka's been keeping a secret. I don't care. But we've got business in what is it, a forest or a jungle?
The jungle. 20 in jungle.
We've got business in the jungle, and we don't mind going without you.
All right, everybody else. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Waves.
What's between me and Grouper has nothing to do with why we are here right now in this moment. And
It
frankly,
says that you're
Gesby,
gonna stab one of us in the middle of a fight.
I mean,
I will work
everyone's
that
life
out
at
with
risk.
Grouper later.
That
Yeah,
put everyone's life at risk.
Yeah, it did. And I will work that out with Grouper later because we need to talk it over. I
Yeah.
agree with you. But that has nothing to do with why we're here right now in this moment.
Davina and I already talked about like a scarf or a bell or something.
You deserve to be treated better.
Look, Ella and I have a lot, Gesby. I appreciate it. I really do. I love you.
I'm not here because I hate Ella. I'm here because she's being a bitch.
Okay, but
And I'm not down with it.
I'm not here to say that I'm happy about things because I'm not, but she's not wrong. I should have told you.
Gesby's gonna hop down off the desk and walk over to Grouper, hand on your shoulder. You are so good at being the bigger person. But I'm not, so we're leaving. And she climbs back in Martin Victoria, closes back up. Ermiton out.
Sin, I had sent you something during this.
Mm-hmm. Give me a stealth check.
Oh, jeez.
In the middle
That
of
doesn't
in the
doesn't
middle
go
of
well.
in the middle of that whole bit, you all noticed Davina walking out the door.
I'm gonna send Flop after her.
Is
Once
Martin
I see that, I'm fine with it. But
is Martin Victoria leaving after that?
Yeah.
All right.
Once the door
bye.
shuts.
All right, so adults in the room.
Yeah. Business that needs to be done. First up, we need to figure out dissemination of information amongst the Cobalt Soul. Everything that we know needs to be spread out, especially among the Cobalt Soul on this island. I don't know who needs to know, but some people will need to know. And apparently you're the arbiter on that.
I'm not the arbiter. I'm just the person here to talk to you about it. The information's being disseminated. You told the right people. It's gonna be told. I really wish Davina was here for this, but maybe it's better that she's not.
Do you want me to go get her?
No, she's gonna need. If she left for a good reason. She needs to talk to us. She can make contact with us. And Gobbins will make sure she's okay, I'm sure. It's fine. That said, I'm pretty sure I am on the exact same thing that you're on, Nashka. And I mean, they said full transparency is available, so if they get pissed at this after the fact, that's fine. The Cobalt Soul rescued Davina.
I had sort of started to come to that conclusion on.
Or at the
Ow.
very least, my mentor did.
And your mentor is whom specifically?
Rook.
Who?
Rook.
I legitimately did not catch that name. What was it?
Rook.
Oh, okay.
The same word, the same name that we already have.
Okay,
Rook.
Where was she?
I don't know. I legitimately didn't know this information until Davina mentioned Rook. I
Okay,
had
so,
no idea this had ever happened.
So your mentor's the one who staged the prison break.
Correct. I would have loved to have explained it at the time, but I did not have the ability to.
Who
And
tells
I
you?
feel
Do we
Sorry.
have a line to get into contact with them for more information about that?
I've already passed along a message. I got a message back saying full transparency was available, and that was it.
You also
Yeah,
got
but
you also got
what's
the,
going on.
you also got the coded message for what it's worth.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like regarding though, like meeting with them for more information.
Meeting with Rook, that's going to happen when Rook says it's okay. When Rook decides it's okay. I do not have the ability to just summon them here.
So, other than Rook, who tells you what the right thing to do is these days?
What?
You said you had to wait for clearance. Who is it that
Correct.
tells you when you can talk, when you can share things that are important?
I'm able to share stuff normal. I was not allowed to disclose activities that I had taken or my status as a member of the Cobalt Soul. I work sort of undercover. So the fact that anything outside of my Cobalt Soul activities, like, I guess I don't know what you're asking.
I made a history check earlier when the Cobalt Soul was mentioned just to see if Grouper knew what and who that was, and I got a 20.
Yeah, so the Cobalt Soul, the Cobalt Soul is a relatively well-known organization throughout Exandria, or throughout thing. It is the Cobalt Soul is an order of monks associated with the Cobalt Reserve. They are publicly dedicated to the search for and preservation of knowledge, making it accessible to the public making it as accessible as possible to the public. They are guided by the Knowing Mistress. They are a religious organization as well as a archival organization. Underneath that,
devoted to Ioun.
Yeah, they're devoted to the Knowing Mistress, and that's pretty much all that's known about them, like, publicly. There are rumors with the 20. There are rumors and stories that they also have other sorts of operations that they do, but generally speaking, the Cobalt Soul is seen by and large to be a benevolent organization, one that anyone can turn to in times of need, and one that has consistently and frequently done everything they could in their power to assist those in need.
So, in response to the question, Elafira's question, pardon me, of what are you asking? Because that was in character, right?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
So Grouper says, I'm asking, who do you have to ask before you can tell us things about what's happening to our friends?
There is nothing at this point, given that given that Rook gave me full transparency, there is nothing preventing me from providing information. I knew it was going to be a short amount of time.
So the answer is you answer to Rook as far as what you're able to say regarding this.
as it stands right now, there is no restriction that I have on knowledge that I have that's been lifted to all of us.
But if there was, you wouldn't be able to tell us, would you?
No, there wouldn't. I would not be able to. But at this point, if there was any such restriction levied, I would argue very hard against it.
Can you ask Rook how to help Vina? How to help? And he kind of glances sideways at Tenebris, who I assume is in the room with us, right?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
How to help all of our friends who've come to difficult times.
I can send that message. I mean, that was all pretty well implied in my in the one that I sent not long ago. At this point, here's literally everything that I know. I only know that Rook helped, was responsible for the breakout because Davina mentioned the name. I had no idea that this had happened before this point. Probably because it happened while I
About
was
5
on
days
my way
before
back.
she showed up. Yeah.
While I was on my way back here. I don't think that Brooke kept it from me. A lot like intentionally. I think it was just a matter of I was not there. I know that I got a message once I arrived in town that I needed to gather people for Sen, what was that message specifically? Because I wrote a lot of things down, but I don't think I got that.
It was gather.
It was gathering people.
Gather a trusted group and wait for orders.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I was to gather a trusted group. Hey, look, I already had one, at least ostensibly. And wait for further instructions became very clear to me personally, interpretively. I have no direct information on this, but it became my assumption is that it has something to do with all of this.
Look.
Because the fact that I got this at the same time that Najka got what Najka got, and the fact that Rook was involved in rescuing Davina, like the writing's on the wall. And then when we arrived here, I knew I had to get information. I was trying to get permission from Rook to talk. Once I got here, I sent off a message. And I got a message back. Well, not a message back. There was already a message here waiting for me. That still been in 6 weeks. That's where we need to be.
I get that there's something bigger going on. We all saw it today. And Vina and Gesby are right. You and I, at some point, we got other things to talk about. But
you think?
He, like, his big eyes on the other side of his head kind of closed for a moment, and there was one of those big, like, sort of wet inhales.
Cut the sarcasm for 5 minutes, please.
But
sorry, I'm trying. Yeah, my bad.
Vina needs our help. Can you please, Ella? I'm not asking you for me. I'm asking you for Vina. Can you please ask this Rook everything they know if there's anything we can do. Please.
Do you think I haven't? Yes, but do you think I haven't already?
Ella, I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Fine. Yes, I will ask.
Byron, who has been kept quiet this whole time, pipes
Yeah.
up from the far end of the room. I don't know if this is something that they're allowed to share, but what's the position of your mentor?
That's a really good question. Like you threw a lot of information at me at some point.
She's an inquisitive.
Yeah.
Jesus,
I mean, she said
like
full,
they work under the expositors, right?
They said full transparency, so Rook is an inquisitive, an expositor. That's what I've been training for the last 5 years.
Yeah, expositors are inquisitives. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Inquisitive is a subsection of expositor, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, you know what? Bitch said full transparency, so what the fuck? Why not? Rook's name is Lysithea.
Lysithea.
Yes. Was that not what I said?
You said Lysithea.
Fire Emblem.
Lysithea.
Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure that they're from Wildmount. I am moderately sure that they're a changeling. And they're a bitch too.
Rupert mouth opens, pauses, and then closes.
I know what he was going to say. Gatsby would have said it.
Hey, that's fair.
I mean, there are still things that I can't say about my past work, but none of it has to do with any of my current work. It's all just past history for past jobs that doesn't need to be brought up. So I get the need for secrecy.
Like there's stuff that I'm still not saying about past jobs alike, partially because it's not relevant and partially because now's not the time and the place. But listen, I wanted to show up and be like, hey, look what I've made of myself, etc., 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 as opposed to, hi, I'm a spoiled bitch who's been working a carefree life as a rogue while I'm not drinking and fucking my way through Iman. But that's not the
job.
There's a sizable wins from Grouper at a point in that discussion.
Yeah, it's fair.
All right. There's still the matter. People in this archive do need to know about what's going on.
They're being informed. You provided proper information. Sorry, you're going to have to say the name again, Sen.
Rook or Lysithea?
Lysithea, thank you. I gave Lysithea every bit of information. I gave a full report.
Would she have disseminated that to this archive, or would she have trusted you to do that as her acolyte who is present?
You know, the report, basically, you gave the report to an archivist, who then had to give it to a mage to send it to her. So, yeah, it's been disseminated.
Everybody who needs to know here knows.
All right.
We can move on to what's next.
All right, let's get to fucking work then.
Yeah, because the archivists...
Sweet. Right. We didn't have any more business.
You're not wrong.
The archivists are in charge of each individual archive. They're the person that sort of like when an expositor or someone of higher ranking isn't there, They're the person that like makes those decisions of who needs to know this information. So giving it to an archivist was the correct move.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to fucking work. We've still got the wall to warn and the jungle to investigate.
It's nighttime, by the way.
No, we need to go to fucking sleep. Actually, no, we don't need to go to fucking. Well, we do need to go to fucking sleep, but everybody out who is not grouper.
You're
You're
muted.
muted, Craig.
I know. I said we needed to. He first said,
Sit.
"I'm not."
Stay.
We need to make sure Davina's okay, and Desby, and the other good goblins.
There are a lot of people in this room who are about to be out of this room that can do that. You sit, stay.
Meanwhile,
Try not to kill each other while I'm out.
Davina. Where were you going, Davina?
Davina just had to get out of there.
Okay.
That's fair.
She went, honestly, probably behind the shop. If there's like an alley or something back there.
Behind the archive?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
it's not a shop, it's a temple.
So
It's a
I'm
temple.
sorry. I was
outside
sorry.
the temple
Wrong-
are temple
wrong words,
grounds.
but yes.
So yeah, you
behind, yeah.
so you just went directly out of the temple grounds and then circled around behind. Okay.
She found a quiet place where no one else was
Okay.
and curled up into a ball and cried.
Were you? No, you already tried to stealth and you weren't very good at it. So, the good goblins, if you so desire, you could have easily followed Davina.
Yeah. Actually, what happens is that Peas wants to find Davina. And so they go around behind the temple so that they can release Peas without anybody seeing. And oh, look, there's Davina.
The chain of events was Davina left, went around the back of the temple. Flop left, went around the back of the temple. The good goblins left, went around the back of the temple. So it's like
With
sort of
their
a
dog.
yeah, with worms. So it's like sort of a Davina. Then after a few moments, flop, and then after a few moments, doom, 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 the good goblins and worm.
I love everything about this.
Martin Victoria just looks at you for a minute. Absolutely, honestly, kind of amused at this chain of events. And then it opens up and Peas hops out, closes again, and turns and goes. Peas and the dog are staying, but Martin Victoria is leaving.
So you have Peas, Flop, and Davina, and Worm. Worm, who is currently chewing on a bone. You don't know where he found it.
I'm not worried. Peas is just going to go and sit down next to Davina.
Davina, honestly, the minute she walked out the door, because she still had the psychic connection active with Grouper, that would have gone away the second she walked out the door. She will do a psychic connection with just Peas.
Peas will talk using that instead of out loud. I'm sorry, Gatsby was yelling so much.
No, it's understandable. Just too many voices. Too much.
She could have chosen a better time. And she doesn't have to be this dramatic about everything.
Okay, you've known her as long as I have. She's always been that
known her-
dramatic.
I've known her longer than you have.
Have you?
Yes, because she's been
Okay.
he's been with them that whole 5 years.
Peas
that
has
you've
been
been
with
away.
Gatsby. Peas has been with Gatsby his entire life.
They're
I
siblings.
think there might be confusion
Oh,
over.
I thought they were talking about Ella.
Yeah, I
no,
think
no,
there
no,
was
I'm
confusion
sorry.
over that.
I'm
they're
sorry.
talking
I
about
thought
Gatsby.
Gatsby's the one that Peas is criticizing for being too dramatic.
I'm so sorry. No, okay, sorry. Backtrack on that. I thought you were talking about Ella.
To
I
be
heard
fair, I
dramatic and
kind
I
of
was
love
like,
the
well,
misunderstanding.
I heard dramatic and I was like, well, clearly Holly's talking about Ella.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I love that misunderstanding now.
Yeah.
Yes, no, for sure.
We should just keep it and both be confused.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
support
100% in favor of this.
Okay. That's fine. Then yes, in character, she would have said, "You have?" to the "I've known them longer."
I
We've known them the same amount of time.
think something might have gotten lost.
Who are you talking about?
Impersonal pronouns strike again.
Right.
Sorry, Jack, what did you say?
Esby,
Oh, I was talking about Ella.
she is also very dramatic.
Yes.
And that's her
This is
problem.
the best game.
It's so good.
She's going to be a lot better at taking care of the people she cares about if she figures out how to chill.
Are we talking about Ella now?
Yes.
Ah!
Wasn't sure we were talking about Ella or Gatsby.
I need 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Appreciate
at
that
this
we've all
point.
coalesced on the fact that Ella and Gatsby are very similar.
They're such great friends.
You're right, though. And
Also, as a reminder,
The-
because of the way the good goblins work, being cyclically connected to peas means you're also cyclically connected to Gatsby and Meanie Manny,
oh, that's good to know.
which means they're both hearing all of this.
Fine.
But that's
Sure,
a
there's
product
nothing
of,
that'll come out of that.
that's a product of the relationship between the good goblins,
Yeah.
not of your magic. So I don't know that your telepathy. So I don't know how obvious it would be to you when you use it.
It probably wouldn't be very obvious to you at all.
Okay.
So Meanie Manny's like, what the fuck?
No, I feel like me. If I might suggest Jack, I don't know if you feel this is accurate, but in my mind, Meanie Manny would just give an affirmative grunt in the mental link.
Yeah.
So
No, just to himself.
what? You
To
know,
Out
himself
loud,
in his
yeah,
dude.
out loud
out
in
loud
the
to
in the
himself.
chassis.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, somewhere else. Yeah. Gatsby kicks him in the back of the head.
Esby sits under him, so she can't.
Oh, there you go.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember where we were.
Sorry.
Pease had just said that Ella needs to find some chill.
No, she and Grouper need to work a lot of things out. I don't know if they ever will, but
And we will come back to Ella and Grouper working things out next week as the camera pulls back and then circles back around to the smell of fish sticks. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I gotta talk about fish sticks.
Goodbye.